Welcome to a special edition of In the Box Seat. Of course, I'm always joined by Ella.
Hello.
And special guest today is Gold Coast Titans coach Josh Hannay. Privileged to join us here at the Gold Coast Turf Club, Josh, and thanks for your time.
Privileged to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's obviously been a big last couple of months for you, off the back of another State of Origin victory as assistant coach with Billy Slater, and then you were announced the Gold Coast Titans head coach. It's been a big 12 months for you.
Yeah, it has. It's been a incredibly satisfying year. I've been really fortunate. You touched on the Origin stuff. Just amazing, I guess. Having been a part of that for the last 4 years, you feel very lucky to win a series. But I guess the way we did it this year, having lost game one on our home turf, to sort of, I guess, create history to go on the road the next two games and be able to win the series, that was, I'll never forget that. And then obviously not long after that, the appointment as the Titans head coach. And then while that was all going on, we were doing great things at Cronulla as well and got all the way to a preliminary final. So, a really satisfying year, life-changing year, and all for the better.
Yeah.
Obviously, Queensland, as you said, assistant coach there, so Queensland means a lot to you. So what does it mean for you to come to the Gold Coast and kind of take the next step in your career here in the state that means so much to you?
Yeah, a lot of feelings, I guess. Probably the one that I've landed on that I feel the most day in, day out is a sense of pride. I'm very proud to be the Gold Coast Titans head coach. I feel incredibly privileged and blessed to have that responsibility, and then, moving here, it's that sense has only grown. You get around the locals, you see how much they support the club and how much they want it to do well. And then, you get to work and you immerse yourself in the environment there, and you see how many wonderful, hardworking, gifted people there are at the club that just want the club to do well, and they're doing everything they can to make that happen. So, I feel an incredible sense of responsibility to just come on board and I guess try and deliver or play my part in delivering a team that the club and the region can be proud of. Yeah.
As you say, Josh, it is a privilege to be a head coach of any club, but this particular club takes on a lot of pressure as well because they have underperformed over a number of years. On various occasions, they've looked like a final side but haven't made it. And like you said, there's privilege, but there's also pressure because there's a lot at risk for the club to perform to a better level next season or the year after that. Yeah,
you're right. And I came and I sit here today eyes wide open. I'm under no illusions as to the task at hand. But when you look at challenges, there's two ways to approach a challenge. One's to walk away from it, one's to walk towards it. And so I looked at all the challenges, and there's plenty of people sort of asking me, mate, why would you do it? And I looked at it as so many reasons why to do it. Yeah. I just, as I say, I want to be a part of making this club the success that so many people want it to be. And I was never scared off by the challenges and the history. My thing around history, right, is you learn from history, but you don't have to be anchored to it. So we'll learn lessons from our history and maybe what the club's done wrong in the past, but we're not anchored to that history. We use it as a source to get better and get to where we want to get to. I think there's so many reasons why this club should do well. Led by the Frizzels, whose ownership and generosity is incredible. Like, they are fully committed to the club. For the now, for the long term, and they just want to see it do well. And the club and the region are blessed to have such special owners. And then, as I say, there's just a lot of good people around. You look at the where we're living. We want the region needs to complement the football program. We get the football program right, and then that's your selling point. And then people go, "Wow, I can go and join a club that's thriving and live on the Gold Coast, which is one of the greatest cities in the world." So we want to make sure that the lifestyle complements the football program, and football program comes first, and we need to create one that is a destination for players to want to come to.
Josh, we have you here on the show because it's all about 4X All Stars. We're looking forward to next weekend here at the Gold Coast Turf Club. Now, we were talking to you off air. You have not been to an All Stars before, but you were in for an absolute treat. You were obviously one of our All-Star guests out of the lineup. We've got the likes of Alfie Langer, Petro Sivanasiva. We've got the Brisbane Lions, obviously premiership winning, some boys there from that. And we are looking forward to it. You are going to be on the lineup, and we cannot wait to hear some stories. And I'm sure you have some stories with the likes of Alfie over the years, and as you said, the Origin days, and in the sheds with him.
We were talking about it last week's show, but the irony that you're here and Laurie Daly's one out. I think he's the only blue.
He is,
and
he's the world's nicest blue.
Yeah, he is. It's hard
to
to dislike him, but. You'll obviously have one up on him.
No, I won't. If he was a typical blue, I'd try and rub it in, but he's an absolute gentleman, Laurie, so, I'll be very humble around him.
During your Origin time, you were telling us off air, and we won't go into too much detail about Alfie's World.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll give you the... PG version.
Is there a PG version?
Yeah, well,
we can edit it later, don't worry.
So Alfie, obviously, his reputation precedes him, and we all know the character that he is, and he's been around the Origin environment a long time as a player and staff member. But a tradition within the Queensland camp is we kick off night one of any camp with Alf's World, and over time, obviously, I think Alf's World has become more and more diluted, but he is front and centre in terms of the shenanigans and the good time, and he ensures that when you're part of Alf's World, you're never comfortable because he's always looking for a way to make you feel uncomfortable. It's his gift in life is to make people feel uncomfortable, but they're great nights. It's a good way for us to break the ice with the players because once we know post that it's all business, and it's the biggest game of their lives is only 10 days away, so it's a really good way for us to break the ice with the players and staff and build a little bit of connection. Player
or coach, this year's Origin, how does it rate to previous years that you won as a player? It looked like backs against the wall after the first game, but there was a true sense of belief in the side, which in the end was ultimately the result in Game 3. Where does it rate for you? It's hard because it's easy to forget how special things were that happened in your past. Like I remember the 22 series when Ben Hunt scored that try in Game 3 here. I remember the euphoria around that, and it was amazing, and that'll go down in folklore. And then 23 we had the Hemiso try at Adelaide Oval when we're down to 12 men, and again these euphoric sort of moments that'll go down in folklore. I think. For me this year, rates above all though, because after we lost Game 1, I'll be really frank here, we lost Game 1 on our home turf. I'm imagining us going down as one of the worst Queensland teams in history. You start to think that way, right? Because we're realists, and you start to think about worst case scenarios and what if this happens, and we're up against this Blues side that's just so strong. And so those thoughts enter your mind, and I know how savage the media can be, and then we make the captaincy change around Daly, and then I think if we had gone on to lose the series, the coverage of it would have been brutal. They would have wanted Billy's head. We would have got questioned around Daly. We would have been called one of the worst Queensland teams in history. So to then go away and win at Perth for the first time, Cameron Munster is our captain. Then we all know about what happened in the lead up to Game 3, personal tragedy, and then to go down to Sydney and not only win but play the way we did. It was the perfect performance in many ways. I think we made our first error in the 70th minute or something, and so to overcome that type of adversity and come out the other side, it was incredibly special, and I catch myself from time to time reliving and my wife has a go at me because she'll come home sometimes. I've got Game 3 on TV, and she's like, "That's like the 10th time you've watched it. Like, can you stop already?" But it was one of those things for me that I just, again, I use that word privilege, but
privileged to be a part of.
I was going to say, as much as we want to hear all these stories, we have to keep it for the 4X All Stars Sports Lunch because we've got to save it. So if you're in the room, you have to buy tickets, and you're going to hear even more stories like this, obviously from the seasons we've just had, and even more before that. Because I could sit here and listen to you all day, but we'll have nothing left to say at the Sports Lunch. So November 29th, head on to gctc.com.au and pick up your tickets to hear from Josh and obviously all the stars that we have spoken about as well.
Connection to racing?
Love racing. You know, it's one of my favourite things to do in my spare time is have a bet, follow the horses. You know, my dad got me into that when I was a young man, and so I love it. I love the Spring Carnival, best time of the year. You know, hopefully own a fast one or one with lots of stamina.
Proud owner of an Atherton Cup winner.
Yeah, Dane Gold. Like, again, that's another hour story we can get into one time. But no, love the racing industry.
Excellent. So we're racing again this Saturday, the 22nd.
And obviously all things lead to the 29th of November. Obviously, Josh, has been an absolute privilege to have you here on the show. We thank you for your time and your stories. There'll be even more of that coming up at the All Stars Raceday.
Good luck with the season too. The Gold Coast community is right behind this club now, and you know, hope you're there and come the finals.
No, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me. I look forward to the All Star Day on the 29th.
Josh Hannay joining us on In the Box Seat. Okay, looking ahead to this weekend's action here at Aquas Park.
Yes, we've got the Acclaim Air Conditioning Race Day here. We will also be hosting the National Thoroughbred Week event over at our Train Tech stables. So big weekend of racing, and then we're racing at Beaudesert on Sunday.
So double header.
Plenty of racing. If you do want to learn more about the National Thoroughbred Week, and you can actually register, we'll put the link here. You can register for that event. That'll be over at our Train Tech stables on Saturday, and then you can come to the races afterwards.
Yeah,
so
good to see the weather improve for Bowie too. Some roads were flooded over the weekend with the storm, so at time of recording it's around a soft track, so hopefully no more rain, but we'll be right to go on Sunday. Tips,
finding a winner for the Gold Coast on Saturday. I've gone I actually am going to pronounce Pasima. Thank God you're here. Gillian Heinrich and Ben Rogers, the partnership has been doing flying. They've been doing so well, and that horse looks a winner, so I'm going to back that one on Saturday.
Spanish Fox for me, for Michael Freeman, another informed Gold Coast stable, brings good Sydney form. He's a good dry tracker, this horse, so hopefully remains in the dry range on the weekend, which it should. But his form in Sydney should be good enough to win that open handicap. Thanks for joining us on In the Box Seat. Great to chat with Josh Hannay. Best of luck to the Gold Coast Titans this season, and make sure you get trackside for the 4X All Stars Race Day on November 29.